Yeah, welcome back to the channel, everybody. And if you guys saw the community post that I put out on Saturday, you might have seen this particular box. This arrived on my doorstep on Saturday afternoon, a little while after we got back from the Phantom hangar. So I am pretty excited about this. This is something I ordered over just last month, about early October. Now, one of the things that I've always been wanting to add to my flight simulator setup is a collective, because I really enjoy flying helicopters, and for the most part what I've been using is my Warthog throttle. I just tend to pull the handles backwards on it, just like you would for a collective. You pull up on the collective to increase your rotor pitch. But I've been eyeballing and looking at collectives for some months now, and back during the Flight Simulator Expo, I got to talk to the guys over at Virpil, and they had a lot of their products out for display, and I got to put my hands on some of it, and I was really impressed with their collectives that they had out there, so I recently ordered one. So it finally arrived, so we get to help unbox this bad boy. Alright guys, one last thing before I get to unboxing this. I do want to be clear, this is something that I personally purchased. This is not a product demo. This was not sent to me by Virpil for product review. This is just something that I bought, and I wanted to share that with everybody on the channel from the customer perspective. So let's get to unboxing this thing. Alright, let's see what we got here. Yep, invoice. Yep. Alright. Hey, we got a box. And another box. Awesome. Alright, I'm pretty sure I know what this one is, and that's the base. They always come in halves, so awesome. Alright, figure your new controls. Alright. Come on, open up. Ooh, a lot of stickers for for labeling all your buttons and such. Nice. There is the USB cables. Oh boy, here we go. Oh, nice. Alright, so this is the collective base, and they have two versions of this. One with the twist throttle, like this one features, and one that does not have the twist throttle at all. It's just the base. So I bought this one that has the twist grip. Nice. Ooh, it's a little shutdown button. Nice. Ooh, that's nice and smooth. Awesome. Let's see. Now I get to figure out how to mount this to the chair here in a little bit. Oh, I think I see a way to do it. Alright, we'll get to that. I don't know what this little box is. Oh, mounting hardware. Oh, and there we go. I'll zoom in on this one for you. So you see these little steel pieces here, or feels like aluminum rather. That's metal. So I believe you take this plate off, and those are different cams. Alright, so what those little cams do, and there's three, you get three of them. One's already in the base for you. And what that does is adjust the amount of travel for the collective itself. So whether you want just a little bit of range or the full range of movement, that's what those little cams are for. Nice. Ooh, awesome. Alright, so that's the base. Let's check out the next box. Alright, so box number 2. Right, another one of those instruction booklets. Yeah, here we go. Ah, nice. So this is the grip part of the collective, and this is modeled after what is in a UH-60 Blackhawk, or Pavehawk if it's Air Force, or Seahawk if it's Navy, but this is typically the grip you would find on the collective. And it's got all the right switches and buttons, including a trigger on the back. So that's, ooh, that's a pretty nice and smooth toggle switch. Ooh. Nice. Alright, so alright. So it looks like you attach it with the little cable. There's a little bit of a cable, you get some slack out of it. Let's line up the pins. And there's an arrow. There's an arrow there, and there's an arrow on the connector. Nice. I like how they put that little cable there, so it's not a rigid connector, and that allows some adjustments of the angle of the grip in relation to the collective base. That's pretty nice. That's one of the things I like about over on the my Warthog stick, how I put the extension on it. Having that cable that comes up the extension tube allows for me to change the angle of the grip to match the angle of my wrist as it would normally sit. So, ha! Oh, beautiful. I'm really looking forward to trying this out. Alright, well there is the collective, everybody. Let's go see how we can bolt this to the chair. Alright, so one of the things I did is I put this up on the desk and I got the side plate off of I took the side cover off of the collective base, and the one thing I wanted to do with that is to get the cam plate out of it, and I already loosened everything up. So it's these two bolts right here and here inside the base. So like so. Make sure you don't drop the washers. And what I want to do is take the cam out of the base. I'll be using Allen wrench to help get this side out. Once I get it up and out, that'll make things a little bit easier. Just grab one of my scribes. There we go. Up and out. Careful. I don't want to snag any of the wires. There we go. Alright. Reason I'm doing this, and I have an image up on screen right now that this, like I mentioned in the opening there, this thing has 3 cam profiles that limit the range of movement of the Collective. So it comes pre-installed with the small one installed. I want a little bit more throw on the Collective, so I'm putting in the large. So it's just a simple swap. And just line up the holes and put your bolts back in. Alright, I just wanted to highlight that this is fairly straightforward. You have to have your own Allen wrenches for this step. They do not include these. Alright, but that's how we do the cam plate. Alright, so I got it mounted to the chair, and I had to kind of get a little creative with the mounting for this. So, my chair is the Next Level Racing Boeing Military Edition. Excuse my cables, it's work in progress with that. I just bought some extensions so I can straighten up a lot of my cables. But anyway, so I used the straight mount that came with the chair. And the mount that came with the Collective is right here, and it's got a short arm and a long arm. And it's meant for mounting to a horizontal surface. It's not meant for being vertically mounted on anything. But I don't have any good spots to horizontally mount the Collective, and with the mount that comes with it, it has to be mounted horizontally. It can't go on an angled surface, else I would have used this rear leg here on the side. But here it is. It works. It's a little further away from where I'd like it. I've already looked into getting a different mount for this to kind of replace this kind of contraption with the clamps and everything. So as soon as once I get that set up, I'll do a little piece on that. But here it is. It's spaced far enough back, and what I mean by that is, if I come around, so we got the throttle on its mounting plate, and it's on one of the angle brackets. To mount the throttle, and the Viper throttle fits right here as well. The big thing with this is it needs to hinge, and remember I installed the large cam in it earlier, so it has about a foot of travel, which I absolutely love. There's a lot of precision in there because I have flown with it a little bit over the last couple days. But as you can see right here, I got maybe 3/8 to a ½ inch of clearance. So it's pretty close. So it kind of has to stay back there, and this is with this throttle plate mounted all as far forward as I can make it. All right, so let's jump into sim and let's check out and see what this thing can do. All right, everybody. Now here we are in the Huey, and I gotta say that aside from the warbirds, I absolutely love flying the helicopters within DCS. It's just it's quite a challenge to be able to learn these things, but once you get proficient with these, it's really cool what you can do with a helicopter, especially in the context of DCS. Now, like most, I'm sure, before I got the Collective here, what I would use is my throttles, but I would do this. I would set it so that the throttle was backwards, and what I mean by that is I would, like with the Collective, you got to pull up with it in order to go up with the helicopter. I would set the throttle backwards, so if I pulled back on the throttle, that would increase my Collective. Well, that works at all, and I always had it in my mind that's how the helicopters work. Pull back on the throttles if I want to go up. That worked great up until I was learning the Harrier and learning how to do a hover landing. And you guys can probably see where that's going. As I was doing as I was coming in for a hover landing, for some reason the helicopter mentality kicked in, and I started treating the throttle and the Harrier like it was the Collective, and let's just say that landing didn't end well. Alright, so let's go ahead and demo this Collective. Despite where it's mounted, I still can reach it. It's not too much of a reach for me. If I was shorter, perhaps this would be a bit more of a challenge, but is what it is. Until I improve the mounting situation for this, I'm just going to have to deal with it for now. But other than its position, I absolutely love this thing. So let's go ahead and get this thing off the ground. Now with that large cam in there, I have a lot of travel. It's about a foot worth of pivot, and I have so much precision over the collective now. It's awesome. So let's go ahead and just pick up into a hover. There we go. Nice and stable. Just about 2 feet off. And so much precision. If I want to go up a little bit, I can just pick up a little. And I have, let's see, pick up a few more feet. A lot of this is a lot of practice that goes into just learning this skill in the helicopters. But having this, so much more precision over just the few inches of travel you get out of a throttle. And I can't knock the Warthog too much. This is a great throttle. But the range of movement that you get out of the collective, it's awesome. This is so worth the money to me. I've been wanting one of these for over a year now. I finally got one. Alright, so let's go ahead and pick up into... So right now, without even touching this, I can get into a takeoff just by pushing the nose forward and picking up some forward airspeed. There we go, out of translational lift. Alright, push down a little bit, slow my climb. And I'm watching that vertical speed indicator right there on my instrument panel. Maintaining 60 knots, but I don't want to climb any further, so I can just manipulate the collective as needed to do this. Alright, I'm going to swing on in for a landing. That pad over there on the end looks kind of nice for doing this, so go ahead and plop down. Pull back on the cyclic so I can start slowing down. Nice and easy on my collective. It's been a minute since I've been in the Huey. It's the helicopter I spent the most time in out of the 3 that I have. I have 4 if you count the mod U860, which I gotta say, I flew that for a little bit and then stopped flying it because I thought that the flight model on that was a little quirky. Love seeing that grass move with the rotor, with the breeze coming off that rotor. Hey, X marks the spot. Probably not going to find buried treasure there. But anyway, with the mod U860, I stopped flying it for a bit because I thought it was quite tricky to fly. I gave it another shot after picking up this collective, and I got to say, this has definitely helped in that regard. All right, let's go check out the Apache. That was another helicopter I found difficult until I got this. Alright, now here we are in the Apache. Now this was always a bit of a tricky helicopter for me with when I was using the throttles. And it's a helicopter I haven't spent a huge amount of time in, also mostly because of the systems involved. You gotta spend some time in the Apache to really learn and be effective in this thing. But it is a really capable helicopter. It's one I probably should spend some more time in. But so many modules, not enough time, unfortunately. And I gotta say, this is so much more enjoyable to fly now with the collective. Also, speaking of which, so Virpil has developed and is doing pre-orders for the collective grip for the Apache. And you notice that it's like a two-handed deal there, where you got the bottom hand grip is the mission grip, or I'm sorry, that's the flight grip, and then the top hand grip is the mission grip. Now, the one I have here is the grip that's identical to the one that's found in the U860 Blackhawk, and these are interchangeable. You can swap the grips out. So they have this available currently, plus the one for the KA50 Black Shark. But they have the Apache grip, and it's supposed to release sometime around January. I had reached out to Virpil for some information that I can share with you guys, and they are doing pre-orders now for both the Apache grip as well as a counterbalance kit for the pivot. The one thing that I saw had the most complaints on this was the dry clutch arrangement that's inside the pivot. You guys got to see a little bit of that when I had the side plate off to swap the cam. And so there has to be enough friction on this in order for it to not pivot down under its own weight if you let it go. So right now I have it just tight enough that it won't do that. However, there is a little bit of breakout for some stiction, if you will, in order to get it to move in the first place. And some guys have overcome that by opening it up and putting in some Nio gel grease. But they have a counterbalance kit available that should start shipping in January as well. So both the Apache grip and the counterbalance kit, they're doing pre-orders for, like I said, but they should start shipping out product around January. And so with that counterbalance kit, there's a piece that goes in between the main box and the mounting bracket, which has an adjustable spring on it, so you can reduce the friction on the dry clutch assembly and have that spring provide the counterforce necessary so that you have a much looser pivot, so it feels more natural, but it won't fall down under its own weight. But like I mentioned, both of those are available for pre-order, and they did share with me that anybody that currently owns one of the Virpil collectives of any type, whether it's the TCS Plus like this one has with the throttle, or if it's just a collective stick and either grip, if you have either one of these, you have a pre-order discount of, I believe, 5% is what was shared with me. And if you are interested, you should have an email with your discount code. And if you don't, you can always reach out to Virpil's customer support for that discount code if you are interested in ordering that. All right. So enough yakking out of me. Let's get this aircraft off the ground. So disengage the parking brake, and I'm just going to pick up and just puppy into a hover. Counteract the subtle moves. Looking outside the cockpit. Starting to get light on her wheels. All right. Here we go. And I'm doing this just like in the Huey. I don't have the eye heads in front of me. So I just picked up into a hover. Oh, backwards. I don't want to go backwards. I want to stay in place. I think I'm fighting the stability system. That's okay. Nice and gentle movements. There we go. So I was trying to fly it like the Huey, where I'm counteracting everything I see when it does, because the Huey lacks any stability control. But there we go. So much fine control with this that I'm able to maintain a few feet of hover here. Let's see if we can pivot in place. There we go. Oh, a little too much. Let's go see what's down this taxiway. So I was starting to climb there. I just pushed down a little bit. I'm just gonna have to get used to this helicopter. I'm having a hard time finding that happy spot. So I'm wanting to go. It's wanting to climb, but I want to just stay a few feet off the ground. Back down. Got on the ramp here, Blackhawk, a couple more Apaches. Alright, let's she is obviously wanting to fly, so let's go fly. Ooh, too much. Almost. I over-torqued it there for a second. Alright. So, like I mentioned, I'm gonna see what I can do about putting this on a better mount so it's a little bit more closer to my hand whenever the collective's all the way down, and I'll again make sure this clears the throttle. And if there's some interest, I'll go through what the software behind this looks like, because their software is pretty well. It does a really good job for supporting the sticks, but you don't need it always running in order to use the stick. Anytime you make a big change, like say changing out the cam plate, you have to calibrate it, and it does a good job with handling that. And overall, like I said, I am really happy with this. This is probably, aside from the Warthog stick and throttle, this is probably one of the best things I've purchased for this hobby, and I am really enjoying it. So with that, I will end this here. I'll probably feature this in another video or two, but thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.